Welcome to Canada. Okay, so in front of me is the Bank of Montreal, which for some reason is in Ottawa. So I'm not sure what that's about, but maybe Montreal has a Bank of Ottawa. And here you can see it. Good job. So we're going to continue our self-guided tour at the Supreme Court of Canada. This ugly building is the National Press Building, the eyes and ears of the nation. It was in 1967, the press gallery offices on Parliament Hill were overcrowded, but reporters were reluctant to move away from the center of Canadian political life. It upholds one of Canada's fundamental rights, freedom of speech. Its role is to inform Canadians about the operations of their democracy. We'll continue our self-guided tour. And it looks like across the street here we have the Wellington building. It's a rather large building. I'm not sure what it's for, but it is close to Parliament, so it must be important. There you see the Bank of Canada, which is responsible for keeping Canadians' economy ticking and currency stable. But, the bank is actually somewhere else, but that's the museum for the bank. It's like, so that's cool. We'll continue our self-guided tour. You know what? I just realized that the bank is that building. It's like right in the center of the screen, surrounded by this modern stuff. Come across this building here. It's really got no name. It's under construction. There you can see. It's pretty old, but there's no name on it, and so I have no idea what it is. So we'll continue our self-guided tour. Here we have the Bank of Canada. Once again, we're a little closer this time. The Bank of Canada is the country's monetary authority. Since it opened its doors in 1935 at the height of the Great Depression, the bank's purpose has been to promote the economic and financial well-being of Canadians. What a time to start a bank during the Great Depression. That's a good idea. Oh, it's got those little statue things on the outside, you can see. Those must be some famous Canadian bankers. Good for them. Pretty nice building there. We'll continue our self-guided tour. On the left, you'll see St. Andrew's Church. Pretty old church in Canada. Now we're coming up here on the Canadian Supreme Court, which is the pillar of Canadian democracy. Created in 1875 by an act of the Canadian Parliament, the Supreme Court of Canada is Canada's highest court and one of the most important national institutions. That and, you know, the Canada Dunkin' Donuts. I'm blanking on the name. We'll continue our self-guided tour in just a second. Here's what we got here is a Canadian sculpture by Sorel Etrog. It's called Flight Vol. It's commissioned by the Pavilion of Canada in the Expo 57. Pretty nice sculpture. Good job. We'll continue our self-guided tour. As you may know, Canada is bilingual, so lots of their signs have to be printed twice in French and in English. We'll continue our self-guided tour. Here we are. We're very close to the Bank of Canada Museum, and on this side there's some grass and some places to sit. It becomes a little outdoor amphitheater, so that's very economical in architecture, which I'm sure the bankers appreciate. We'll continue our self-guided tour. Here's the Bank of Canada Museum, really close. I'm sorry about this tour going in circles here, but anyway, we'll continue our self-guided tour. I've just discovered what the Wellington building is. It's the House of Commons in Canada. The Canadian House of Commons. Good stuff. A lot of Canadian things have crests. This is a crest that's on the Wellington building. It's got a lion there and a horse. Is that a unicorn? Oh my gosh, that's a unicorn. Very cool. And a couple of lions there. There's another lion. Awesome. We'll continue our self-guided tour. Here we are at the offices for the Senate of Canada at 140 Wellington Street. That's the Victoria building. The old building here. Very cool. So at 90 Wellington is the office for the Parliament of Canada, and there's a giant line every morning of people who want to get in for free. And I'd say like right here, you're in line. You probably have to go on a 11 o'clock tour. It's a pretty crazy system. These people up at the front got here at 8 a.m. I know because I was here. What a long time to wait. You guys, this is where the Prime Minister actually works. This is his building. They've built up defenses to keep the ladies out. And you can see it's right across the street from, Parliament. This flag is really bothering me. I wonder if that's on purpose. It seems that they've tried to pin it so that they continue to be displayed properly. Some sort of design functional error here. Anyway, this is where the Prime Minister works sometimes. We'll continue our self-guided tour. This is the color of fire hydrants in Canada. They've got blue and white on them. Pretty cool. Here you'll see a statue here of some Canadians from the past, and they're wearing top hats. And it says 1812 to 1815. So that is what they're commemorating. They look pretty, they have expressions. We'll continue our self-guided tour. Okay, what you're seeing right now is a little Canadian squirrel. It's got a very cute little tail. He's gotten away from me. We'll continue our self-guided tour. On the left, you'll see down there is the Canal Rideau, or Rideau. Nobody's really told me how to say that word yet. R-I-D-E-A-U, I believe. And it's a canal. And during the winter time, people ice skate on this. And off in the distance there is the National Art Gallery. See? They have a little canal shop.
Great day.
With a beaver on it. Pretty good mascot for a canal. Alright, we'll continue our self-guided tour. Those are Canadian paramedics riding bikes into oncoming traffic. Alright, we'll continue our self-guided tour. Here you have it. Here I have it. the national headquarters in the Connaught building, which is customs. Here is where customs have their main building here for Canada. Pretty cool. A lot of Canada is under construction, but not everything in Canada, which is nice. But cannot go that way right now. So I'm walking down this street, and it's right on the edge of the Byward Market. So a couple blocks over there, there's like a farmer's market, and down there's that bookstore. Okay, I'll continue my self-guided tour. What you're looking at is called the Mile of History. It's restored shop fronts along Sussex Drive. They're relics of businesses that once served the lumber trade in Ottawa Valley, where wood was king in the 19th century. I actually saw a truck of lumber the other day. Pretty interesting. After a hard winter felling timber in the woods, lumberjacks collected their pay and set out to have some fun. For many, that meant celebrating in taverns on Sussex Street, a commercial artery in Ottawa's lower town. I'll continue my self-guided tour. Alright, this is some kind of staircase, and you can see as you're walking up, it forms like a little maple leaf art thing. Pretty interesting. It's public art for you. Always see something new. I'll continue my self-guided tour. Well, we've done it. We've managed to find a piece of the U.S. This is the U.S. Embassy. Looks like a fortress. A little chimney. Actually, a massive chimney. They probably are very cold up here. This is like what the sign says is International Sector of Confederation Boulevard. I'm not sure what international is really, but they've got really nice bike lanes here. You can see, although I've not seen a cyclist use them. Mostly they ride on the sidewalk in Ottawa. But there's not a lot of people, so it's not a huge problem. Anyway, I'll continue my self-guided tour. This is Park Major Hills Park. It is at the top of a hill, as you can see. So I'm guessing that's why they named it that. I'll continue my self-guided tour. So we're looking at the Parliament people again. And then this is all Ontario. That's where Ottawa is. And then across this Ottawa River is Quebec. Gatineau, Quebec. So that is nice. I just like this danger sign. This little man. It's not bilingual either. It's just danger, no matter what language you speak. Anyway, I'll continue my self-guided tour. I found the squirrel in the park. It's Canadian. It's black and it has a big old puffy tail, as you can see. Goodbye, squirrel. Okay, as you can see, this is the National Art Gallery. There's some kind of like spider sculpture. Probably can't see it. And I think those two towers are the Mint, the Canadian Mints, but I'm not sure. Again, I've never been here before. Okay, I'll continue my self-guided tour. You can see people in the art museum, but there is no entrance that I've found. There's little stairways here, but I don't think I can get in that way. I found another squirrel. This one is smaller and brown. He's very talkative. I'll continue my self-guided tour. The architecture of this building seems to be a building that is surrounded by these, I don't know, pillars. And there's little, there's some glass there. So yeah, that's the interesting, unique architecture of this building. As you can see here, there's a giant spider. The people in Ottawa know this spider. It's right in front of the art gallery, the National Art Gallery. And it's in relationship to this Basilica Church, Cathedral. I'm not sure. But it is a giant spider, and it's the thing of your nightmares. And really, what is really creepy about it is these egg-looking things that are inside. I'm not sure what the intention of was that, other than perhaps this will come out of hibernation in 75 years and hatch all these eggs, and then the planet will be overrun by giant spiders, just like I dream of in my worst nightmares. Okay, I'll continue my self-guided tour. The artist is Louis Bourgeot, and it was made in 1999 and cast in 2003. It is a piece called Mammon, and the artist thought that those eggs would represent fertility and nurturing, protection. That's not what my read on it was, but you know,
I think you
that sounds better, I guess. I'll continue my self-guided tour. I am outside the art museum, and we're gonna head into the group entrance, as I am giving a self-guided tour. I believe this is where tour entrance would be. So in we go. Here's an interesting sculpture. It's made of concrete, looks like. Unique shape and form. Very fun. See, it's shadow cast by the sun here. Pretty good Canadian sculpture here. I'm not sure if it's a Canadian artist. I don't see a plaque for this one. Anyway, I'll continue my self-guided tour. These are really the sweetest automatic doors I've ever seen. This gentleman is going to test them for me. Oh, he went in the exit. Somebody go in there. Yes, look at that. It's so technologically advanced. Awesome, Canada. Good job. I'll continue my self-guided tour. One of those examples of, is it art? A very unique thing sitting outside an art museum. Is it art? Or is it simply equipment made by Hertz, or rented by Hertz, made by Juglift? I don't know. I'll continue my self-guided tour. So you can see this gravel area. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be outside the museum on this side. The space is very strange. I'll continue my self-guided tour. Well, I'm not sure who designed this patio or facade, but I've just discovered that it's a giant circle, and that this area I'm in doesn't actually go anywhere. I'm quite pissed. So I'll continue my self-guided tour. So as I've been walking, I might have noticed that the weather is very hot. I might be interested to know that, in fact, It's not usually hot in Canada, but it's usually very snowy. On the left here we have the Global Center for Pluralism, and up ahead is the Canadian Mint that I thought was that cathedral back there. And here we have the Embassy for Kuwait, and I'm not sure what this building is, but it's also quite large. Perhaps it is a Mason hangout or something like that. So yes, you might be a little warm on this tour, but that's not usually how it is in Canada. I just wanted to point that out to myself. I'll continue my self-guided tour. Alright, so I think I'm gonna call it a day for the self-guided tour. As you can see, that's Quebec, and we came from over there. It's quite a long way back. We've managed to make this tour make almost no sense geographically, but we did see quite a bit, and I'm proud of myself, and I hope I had a good time. Thanks to myself for giving this tour, and make sure I tip myself well. Anyway, that concludes my self-guided tour.